Hi everybody, Colin here, and I'm going to show you today my blended learning technology presentation. We're going to use Powtoon. So the first thing I'm going to go do is go to powtoon.com. Powtoon's web-based software, so instead of being an application that you download, you just use the Powtoon interface on their website. I'm already logged in using a free trial version that I signed up for a week and a half or so ago. The free trial version does give you access to all premium content, or most premium content, I should say, for a 50 to 60 hour span. However, there are multiple paywalls behind which most of the content regularly sits. There's a $19 Pro version or a $59 business version. The business version offers the most different content. I'm going to go to my Powtoons now and show you a Powtoon that I've created. One of the nice things that you'll notice on the Powtoons website is there is quite a bit of support in terms of how to learn to use Powtoon. So that's what these videos over here on the right are, the write script, record voiceover, and add visuals section. Now I'm going to select the Powtoon that I created earlier by clicking on edit. The free version does allow you to save up to 2 gigabytes worth of presentations. However, one of the things that you'll notice about using their web-based software is that it's frequently laggy and can take a long time to load a presentation that you've already been working on. Powtoons lets you create presentations as either slideshows or videos, so it can be used to create an asynchronous presentation with or without including an audio component. What I would do with this tool is likely use it to create introductions to material where you're able to speak about it at a high level. Alternatively, I might also create something similar to Dr. Salik's end-of-week recap videos. Powtoon's fairly user-friendly. Its interface offers quite a few support videos and clear transitions between the content menus. Here I can add layouts, backgrounds, text, and characters. Characters are a big part of the selling point of Powtoon because all of the characters come with free animations. These animations are really just GIFs of the characters staying in one area. However, you can move the GIFs around, creating a movement line for them during your slide. You'll notice down here that I have a timeline with multiple elements on it. By selecting the timeline, I can move the elements around, their appearance and disappearance, and adjust how they come in and out of the screen. Powtoons also has graphs and images, so you can import things of your own instead, just like you'd expect with normal presentation software. So if I choose to add a character, you can see that this is one of the basic characters and he's animated. Once the character is added, you can choose to swap them out for another character or for the same character in a different pose. One of the nice things about these animated GIFs is that you can choose to either not animate them, to animate them in a loop, or to animate them a certain number of times before stopping. Unfortunately, and in part because Powtoon is a web-based program, it's also frequently laggy, with elements staying on the screen after you've moved between content or taking a long time to load. It can also be difficult when you're selecting a character to tell whether or not the character is animated, and mostly the animations are fine for the characters because almost all of them are animated. However, with a lot of the other elements, some of them are animated and some of them aren't, and it can take a really long time because of the lagginess in order for you to be able to tell whether or not an element is in fact animated. The animations are really cool and eye-grabbing. However, having multiple figures on screen can become unwieldy really fast because it's very difficult to tell where the entrances and exits are for each animated aspect. And it's also difficult to tell how characters will be layered. So once you have a character in or several characters in and you need them to be interacting with one another, it's difficult to have one that you keep having to move backwards or forwards without being able to tell distinctly where it's located. Powtoon's interface is easy to use and understand. However, it can be frustrating at the same time, mostly due to lagginess. Powtoon can support learning by providing instructional designers with a unique and eye-catching way to present content. It's also really nice in that it's eye-catching and learners can go back to it again and again. In terms of reliability, unfortunately Powtoons is extremely unreliable. You have to save constantly because the auto-saving feature is not very frequent. Additionally, even the save function is occasionally buggy. Like any cloud-based program, a secure and reliable internet connection is key to using Powtoons. If you lose your connection, you can easily lose your content. I encountered several unexpected error messages while I was using Powtoon, and I also had some trouble accessing saved Powtoons that I had created while I was working on this project. One time, even though I had saved my project, when I encountered an error, the entire project was deleted. It is nice that there are quite a few support videos on their website, including tutorials on how to use different aspects of Powtoons. However, when you run into problems, it can be very difficult to receive support. Actually, when you click on the Submit a Ticket feature to contact support, what happens is there's more content on the page than you can actually scroll through. And the programming that they've built into the browser doesn't have a scroll functionality. I found that the only way to submit a support ticket was to copy this URL and enter it into a whole separate tab, which seems like a drastic oversight. It's difficult to address whether or not Powtoons is a secure program or not. Because it's web-based, there are concerns about linking your profile to it, especially since you're accessing it online. For that reason, I chose not to link any other accounts to my Powtoon account. Since Powtoon is cloud-based software, rather than being an application you download to your computer, you do use their website interface. And because Chrome doesn't support Flash, Powtoon won't function correctly in it. So I suggest using Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, or another web browser that supports Flash if you're going to use Powtoon. Powtoon is not difficult to integrate with other software in your organization. However, I would say that because Articulate Storyline 2, which my organization uses quite frequently, has much of the same functionality, I would probably choose Storyline 2 and or presentation software such as Microsoft PowerPoint rather than using Powtoon simply because of its unreliability. Powtoon does support voice recording through the program, or you can use a third-party voice recording software like Audacity, and then plug the audio content into your story. Using the recording features in Powtoon is nightmarishly difficult, unfortunately. Because slide lengths are capped at 20 seconds, it's very difficult to tell any kind of complex information in that period of time. Another downside of Powtoon is that you can't actually save to your computer any of the content that you can create. You can't export content to Facebook or YouTube, which is how I was able to save my video that I created. I'm going to show that video to you now to give you some more information about my experience using it and give you a better idea of what the final content looks like. Hello, and welcome to Powtoon, a user experience with me, Colin. I wish I had some presentation software. Have you thought about using Powtoon? Powtoon? Never heard of it. Well, Powtoon is free presentation software you can use by visiting powtoon.com. Awesome. I'll go give it a try. My work here is done. Neat. I can add all kinds of animation and graphics. Wow. That got out of hand pretty fast. I guess less is more. I should tell the internet about my Powtoon experience. Powtoons does have several pros going for it, including its easy-to-use interface, the fact that there's a free option, its unique animated content, and the lots of pre-built content and functionality that comes with it. Powtoons has multiple negatives, including the multiple paywalls, the watermarking on your free content. The timeline is difficult to manage and your elements frequently disappear. It's difficult to download created content. The web-based application suffers from incredible slowness. You're unable to link multiple animations, and animation is frequently buggy. Additionally, layering elements is a hit-and-miss experience at best, and recording or appending audio to your timeline is difficult and it frequently causes timeline issues. And perhaps the worst crime of all for a content creation software, the save button is very unreliable. Here's my final verdict on Powtoon. Were it not for the frustrating slowness, unwieldy element interactions, and overall unreliability, Powtoon would be a fun and engaging program. Until those issues are remedied, I can't recommend using Powtoon. Thank you for taking the time to watch my Powtoon review. Created using Powtoon. As you may have noticed, some of my audio quality was not particularly good during that. I found that using the Powtoon playback feature with audio clipped some of my audio, even though once I published it, it did appear to be complete. However, at other times, it did add a clicking sound that I wasn't able to eliminate, which was very frustrating. Overall, I would give Powtoon maybe a 4 out of 10 in terms of usability. It's very nice and very fun to use. However, the frequent lagginess really destroys the user experience. That's all I have to say about Powtoon. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you in the discussion boards.